Get ready for some intense moments, because what you're about to see is wild. We're diving into some of the craziest motorcycle police chases ever caught on a dash cam. Check this out. These officers clearly didn't see that escape coming, but it happened. The suspect thought he could just slip away without much trouble. In the end, he vanishes from sight, and we never really find out how it ends. Now this one's just insane. These guys decided to run from the cops and were willing to take some serious risks to avoid getting caught. But the police weren't giving up that easy. They pulled out all the stops to track them down. After a bunch of heart-pounding, high-risk moments, it looked like the chase was finally under control, until a whole swarm of motorcycles showed up out of nowhere. After several intense minutes and miles on the road, it finally came to an end. Here's another chase, this time involving two bikes. One of them was a delivery guy suspected of something, and he was putting other people's lives on the line just to get away. The pursuit went deep into the city's rougher neighborhoods, and things kept escalating. But eventually, after a long ride, he gave up and turned himself in.
Para, coloca a mão na cabeça, mão na cabeça, mão na cabeça.
Take a look at this chase that went down on the shoulder of a busy highway. The bikes were flying, and the officer put his own life on the line to stop the suspect. Look how fast this officer moves. Thanks to his quick reflexes and skill, the suspect didn't stand a chance. And the speed doesn't stop there. The cops are giving it everything they've got to catch this biker. Things get even more intense here, but the guy doesn't seem to care about his own life and just keeps running. Check out this next scene. It looks straight out of an action movie, but it's all real. The officer comes face to face with the suspect, who ends up crashing the bike and trying to make a run for it on foot. He vanishes into a maze of houses, and just like that, he's gone. This guy thought he was being clever by taking a shortcut during his escape. In his head, it probably seemed like a genius move, but reality hit hard. When he realized he was about to get caught, he pulled this little stunt. Yeah, spoiler alert, it didn't work. Now you're about to see one of the most jaw-dropping motorcycle chases ever. It feels like a Hollywood scene, but it really happened. And wait till you see how it ends. It's seriously intense. These two suspects were dead set on not getting stopped. They sped through multiple streets, nearly causing some major wrecks along the way. Both riders were completely reckless, focused only on getting away. In the end, they totally lose it and pull off something insane. The chase goes on, but trust me, it didn't end well for either of them. Chases at night always feel more intense and way more dangerous. In this one, multiple police cars went after a biker who flat out refused to stop. Can you guess how it ended? Check out what happened and give it up for these officers. They really earned it. Now here's a wild one. An officer on a motorcycle chasing down a car. This guy's got serious skills and keeps the suspects in sight the whole time. And then this happens. The situation kicks up a notch, and in the end, the police win the day and take the suspects into custody. Watch how this next chase unfolds. After trying to outrun the cops on a bike, the suspects ditch it and try to escape on foot, but their plan totally backfires and they end up in handcuffs. This rider thought he could take on the cops and didn't seem to care about the consequences. But right here, he messes up and has to run for it. Of course, the officer goes after him, but the guy vanishes out of sight. At first, it looked like this biker was about to pull over, but nope, he made a run for it. Terrible decision. The chase was on, and to be honest, the guy didn't seem all that skilled behind the handlebars. The ending, not good for him at all. This young guy thought he could give the cops the slip. He nearly crashes, but keeps going. The officers work as a team, doing everything they can to stop him. It's a tough mission, packed with risky moves. At one point, an officer gets super close, but just misses the bike. And then, finally, the suspect hits the end of the road. Now check out this scene. It could easily be from a movie, but it's just a brave officer doing his job. On the other side, a reckless suspect making a break for it. The chase heads down a rural road and comes to an unforgettable finish. This guy came up with a whole plan to escape the cops, and he really thought it was gonna work. But after a few miles, well, this happened.
Alright, he just lost it. Alright, he lost it, he wrecked it.
Let's just say the police didn't have to try too hard this time, right? Now check out this high-speed chase down busy highways. The suspect eventually turned off into a small village, and that's where it all ended. Game over for him. Look how fast this officer reacts in a chase that started on a main avenue. After covering a good amount of ground, the suspects tried to make things more difficult by diving into narrow streets, but the cops stayed right on their tail. In the end, you've got to see how it all wraps up. This biker thought he was some kind of two-wheeled mastermind and that he could easily shake off the cops. But he didn't count on the skill and smarts of this officer. Take a look. It was the end of the road for him. Here's another case where a motorcycle officer goes after a speeding car. The driver floors it and even tries to pull off some wild maneuver. But yeah, that didn't go as planned. Now this next chase almost ended in a serious accident. Watch closely. They nearly hit a guy, but even after that, the suspects kept running from the cops. Some bailed out of the car and tried escaping on foot while the vehicle kept going. In the end, though, the officers managed to catch them all. This dude was feeling pretty confident about his getaway, but clearly he didn't have much skill on a bike. And well, he ended up doing this. Looks like this suspect decided to play games with the cops, but the officers weren't having it and shut him down fast.
That's 1055 right up 10, 1037.
The next pursuit was just as intense. The fugitive tried to outsmart the police, but they were a step ahead. He bolted, and it did not go well for him.
Hey, get up, get up. Walk towards me. Face away from me. Back up to my sound of my voice.
Here's an officer tailing another biker on the highway. The rider flat out refuses to surrender, making things dicey for both sides. Eventually, he slips out of sight, and the cop has no way to reel him in. Now check out this crazy chase through packed city streets. The suspects risk everything to dodge jail, and even worse, they endanger everyone around them. The rider doesn't give a second thought to the woman on the back seat, and then the inevitable happens. Watch this final clip, a motorcyclist tearing down the road at full throttle. He almost stops, then pulls a stunt, vaulting over the highway barrier. Spoiler alert, it ends very badly for him. Look at what this guy did when the cops pulled him over. He wasn't just putting his own life at risk, he was endangering everyone on the road. The officers had to act fast. They caught up with him and took him down. Here's another incident that went down at night. This guy really thought he could get away with it, like he was in some kind of video game. But the police didn't play around. They got serious, and this is how it all ended. This guy tried to make a run for it on his motorcycle. At one point, he hit the gas and probably thought he was home free, but he had no idea what was coming. Now pay close attention to this one. Another high-speed chase that went on for several minutes. In the end, the suspect pulled a desperate move after getting boxed in by a patrol car. And yeah, it ended just how you'd expect, behind bars. Watch how fast this officer goes to get the job done. The suspect pulls out every trick to escape until this happens. He even tries to make a run for it, but that was the end of the road for him. Here we've got a chase between a motorcycle and a police car. The suspect absolutely refused to stop and clearly didn't care about any traffic laws. At least the road wasn't too busy at the time. After several minutes of running from the cops, things took a turn for the worse. Just look at what happened to this guy. Sure, he got arrested in the end, but not before causing a whole lot of trouble for the officers. And yep, it was all caught on camera. When this guy got approached by the police, he pretended to stop the bike, then suddenly took off. Definitely not his smartest move. The area was full of other motorcycles, which made the situation even trickier. But the cops stayed on him, chasing the man in the red shirt. You can guess how that ended. Now check out this high-octane pursuit through the streets of a rough neighborhood. The suspect speeds away, but the police stay sharp and right on his tail. Eventually, the guy runs out of options and ends up face-to-face with the law. This man was pulling off illegal passes and ignoring police commands. That kicked off a chase, but it didn't end well for him. He lost control of the bike and crashed into a patch of grass off the road. Naturally, he was arrested. Take a look at this unusual pursuit. What happens when someone on a quad bike tries to outrun the police? You're about to find out.
Wait! Get your behind you! Get behind you! Put your hands behind you!
And in this wild chase, the officer had to hit some serious speed to catch the suspect. The guy blew through multiple red lights and easily could have caused a major crash. Luckily, that didn't happen, and in the end, the cops caught him. This guy also decided to run from the police. Makes you wonder what he was hiding, right? Watch what he does to try and get away. He gets intercepted but ditches the bike and takes off on foot. He slips into a maze of alleyways and disappears from view. Now this biker was bold, to say the least, pulling a stunt like that right in front of a patrol car. Of course, the cops weren't just gonna let that slide. They went after him and things quickly got dangerous. But what happens next might surprise you. This time he actually managed to escape, but there's no way a move like that didn't come with consequences. This nighttime chase through narrow alleyways ended in the worst way possible for the rider. He ignored every law in the book, and by the end, he was lucky to be alive. In this next scene, pay close attention to what happens with the suspect's motorcycle during the escape through tight streets. He keeps trying to run, but eventually gets stopped by a sharp and skilled officer.
Mão na cabeça. Liga e desce. Desce. Vai. Mão na cabeça. Vira de costas pra mim. Mão na cabeça.
Now look at how packed these streets were. And still, this biker thought it was a good idea to flee from the police. He didn't give up easily until he crashed straight into the back of a patrol car. He was arrested and most likely had to deal with the damages he caused. Here's another wild chase through the narrow roads of a small town. Watch how reckless this guy gets, risking his own life to avoid arrest. But in the end, there was only one place he was headed, the police station. This last rider was trying to get away, but he ended up surrounded by police cars. Realizing there was no way out, he gave up and cooperated. Just another one who learned the hard way not to mess with the law. And here we go with another wild chase. The officer literally puts his own life on the line to catch the suspect. After a lot of persistence, he finally manages to do his job and bring the guy in. No hesitation from the police in this next one either. The officer was quicker and managed to stop the suspect, who had no choice but to surrender. These suspects put multiple lives in danger trying to escape. At one point, they got really close to the officers and then pulled this stunt. Sure, it made things harder for the cops, but they didn't back down. This was the result. Now this guy was just casually trying to flee from the police. We don't know exactly why, but one thing's for sure. He clearly wasn't great at riding a motorcycle. Just look at what happened. On this empty street, a motorcyclist was trying to escape from the police, but the officers were sharp and managed to intercept the bike. Even though it's not shown on camera, the man tried to resist, but ended up in handcuffs. Next up, check out this pursuit in broad daylight through some seriously busy streets. The suspect is determined to get away, and the police aren't giving up for anything. After speeding through a narrow alley, even more units join the chase. It all continues on a dirt road and ends like this. These two on a motorcycle thought they could outrun the cops, and maybe even thought they were untouchable, but then this happened. And yeah, they definitely didn't see it coming. Now look at how much trouble these officers had trying to stop this group of bikers. They managed to catch a few, but others got away. Can you believe the nerve and recklessness of this kid? He risked his life just to show off in front of the police, who tried everything to stop him. Wonder how that turned out. This next chase took a twist when the suspects decided to head somewhere more remote, but the police followed close behind. After After lots of chaos and back and forth, they were finally taken into custody. Now pay attention to this biker on the run. He seriously thought he could shake the police without breaking a sweat, but he definitely didn't see this coming. Let's just say, he probably made a pit stop at the hospital before heading to jail.